Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Commentary's Magic stream on today, Sunday, December 2nd, 2018. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big Cheese.
Arcat, and today with us we have...
Greta Arcana.
And everyone should run Trixie in their decks.
I think we know who that is.
One guess.
Are you?
Three Trixies minimum?
That's like the critical minimum.
We are glad to be here on our first stream in December, and also the first stream before the Friends Forever pre-release events start.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It felt like it was so far away. And now I wish we could just sit here and spoiler Tartarus forever.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
You want to dump the whole set, and you know it.
A little. And we've done our best over the last week to give a lot of spoilers out.
Yeah. Are we done, though? I don't think we're done yet. We should not be done yet.
Nope, there's still more. Well, tonight we're going to cover some of the spoilers that have been revealed within the last week.
Is it spoilers all the way down?
It's spoilers all the way down. And then we've also got an awesome featured duel between two of our patrons, Drata Arcana, who is here, and Colorado Contraptions, who unfortunately was unable to make it tonight.
Time zones are a cruel mistress.
Indeed. As is homework.
Indeed.
Yes, Ferry, we were being trolls with the spoilers as well.
Oh, you have no idea. We're only getting started.
Speaking of getting started, do you want to dive in?
I think we should dive in, because we've got quite a bit to cover today. So, speaking of trolling, let's pull up our first spoiler here. We've got Sorry Stamp. So those of you in Discord will remember this. I think this was mine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's much easier to see when it's not a little tiny cutoff icon.
Yeah.
It was still readable.
Well, someone did actually read the thing and I think got the correct text off of it even. Very impressive.
Did Pinkie Pie really just, stamp her forehead?
Yep.
Yes, she did.
I don't remember this.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
It was the Devil Babby episode.
Yeah, this whole sequence was great, because Twilight's just like, I'm happy, and then Pinkie's like, stamp. And then this. Alright, so what are we looking at here?
Well, if you're just looking at the first line, it's a 4-cost dismiss an opposing friend at common, which in limited
Main phase.
Main phase, yes.
Which
in limited,
terrible.
In constructed, it's terrible. In limited, it's fine. You ran Skystar back in Sequestria.
We ran Skystar in Burb, but that's admittedly because she's on Enter's play.
Yes. The harmony effect here is far more interesting, though, because it gives you another dismissal if you want. Actually, no, not if you want.
That's mandatory, good sir.
You have to. If there is an option for it. For an opposing friend with cost less than or equal to the number of Earth Pony characters you have. If you have no Earth Pony characters, you can dismiss a Breezy.
I don't know, this still seems pretty good because,
Here's what to say.
Breezies are dangerous.
Breezes are dangerous.
You can also dismiss a token, couldn't you?
Yes,
Yes,
that is
you
true.
This
Very
cost? Yeah. That's interesting, actually.
That actually just got better. Like, a lot better.
Isn't there a card that creates tokens in this set? Like a token?
Maybe.
It's possible. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with don't worry about it.
Overall, the value of this card really depends on how many Earth Ponies you have in your deck, but if you can even dismiss one other friend, no matter what it is, with a second effect, 4 AT for 2 dismissal is pretty good. And it's nice to see that you have to work for it to get that much value out of it, because dismissal is one of those things that can be very easily overtuned.
Yes. Very, very easily. And it's not like Pink needs any more of it at the moment anyway.
Nope.
Alright, next. Let's see, we've got Untested Magic Fireworks. This is some card text, isn't it?
Why did nobody think to test the fireworks?
They're untested. It says it in the card title. We literally didn't test this.
We tested the other one.
This card got quite a bit of testing, actually.
Got quite a bit of glaring at, because this is one of those cards where you have to look at this and you just go, that might be a problem. Because if you're thinking that there's combo potential here, you're probably right.
There's probably something somewhere. There's obviously the Harmony list that Bugle has been posting about everywhere with Nightmare Moons, and that can be a lot of fun. I think the most important thing to take away from this card is basically the FAQ entry for Chaos Capital of the World.
So go find the Absolute Discord FAQ and read the entry for Chaos Capital.
5 years later, when you do actually find us, or find it, let us know, because I'm still hunting for it.
Am I the only one who bothers archiving these documents?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god. Well, I guess I'll have to post a link to that somewhere then.
Please do. Basically, turning characters over like friends does not frighten them, so it gets around cards that can't be frightened. Turning troublemakers face down or face up does not cover or uncover them, so it will not trigger effects that say cover or uncover, or it will get around things that say troublemakers can't be uncovered.
Yeah, so if you had a problem or an ability that said troublemakers can't be uncovered here, well, this can temporarily put the troublemaker face up. It's not uncovered, but it's also going to turn face down.
The Werefrog asks if the friend is in a state of frightened after it is turned over, and the answer is yes. And yes, you can pay 2 to rally it.
Which will then get turned over again at the end of the turn.
Correct.
Clear as mud?
Hisrock, why does everything Trixie does end up like this? Wait, this isn't even Trixie's fault, is
And
it?
disaster.
This is kind of Trixie's fault.
It's her fireworks. But it's not her Pinky bought them.
Oh yeah,
Pinky had the
bought
choice
them
to
from-
buy
yeah.
them.
Whoops. Didn't mean to do that.
Well, I guess we're there.
I guess we're accidentally looking at the next card. That's what I get for not having Numlock turned on.
Before we do, Omnipotent Raspberry asks if there's a situation where a troublemaker is neither face up nor face down on the field. If the troublemaker is on the field, it's in one of those two states.
What if I balance the card on its edge?
Congratulations.
Yep.
If we're in a chaos match, then you know what? That sounds like a good strategy. You should do this.
Yeah, just sandwich it between 2 problem decks. It seems fine.
It'll be okay. It'll be 100% okay. All right. Since we're looking at this, he's huge. He also can't be frightened,
He's so small. He's a 1.
but he'll get huge.
That's so flavorful.
It is a pretty flavorful pillar. I wish he had both biceps subtitled, though.
Which
Get-
one?
Get swole.
Get.
Yeah.
uh,
What's fun is when you have 2 of these at different powers.
it's a darn shame that he's unique. Oh wait,
There are ways around that.
I'm aware there are ways around that.
They're hard to do.
It's very inconvenient that Crystal is at 3 power.
No, that seems very convenient because that means that her and Rockhoof will never be at the same power as they slowly increase. So it's great. So every turn, the 2 cards double in power.
Well, one of them, yeah.
No, you choose the trigger order. Both of them double.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
provided that Rockhoof gets to go at least once, and then Chrissy stays at 3. So Rockhoof goes to 2, then Rockhoof goes to 4, Chrissy goes to 6, then Rockhoof goes to 8, Chrissy goes to 12, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. For a 1-cost, 1-rec friend, especially in orange, this is probably one of the best ones that we've seen, next to, like, Remarkable.
This is pretty far up there. Kind of silly.
Yep. Next.
We have Mage Meadowbrook. This card
is kind of boring, but really good.
Yeah. Also, that scowl on her face. Some pony's gonna get a whooping.
Sadly, it doesn't also hit face down troublemakers.
Ah, that's why you use untested fireworks.
We're just playing a 3-color deck. 7 AT.
That's...
It's fine. This card says enters play, it goes in burb.
I don't think that's how that works.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
You know what? If you could cheat this into play with burb, it might.
You might still play it in burb anyway.
Maybe.
Like, I'm clearly like half joking, but
it does fix one of the problems burb has of having limited resource removal.
Yep. This
Yeah,
go for it.
you see, the problem with Rest in Peace is that it's an event.
Yep. This is a friend.
Oh god, replace Rest in Pieces with this card?
You could.
Maybe.
You got
that's some tech.
But yeah, as GP said, very simple, very straightforward, very, very effective. Unless there's a Desert Road in play.
The more I sit here and think about this, the more I actually do want to replace Rest in Pieces with this card.
I want to tell one more thing. You know those pesky mimics that don't let you cast Reap? Well, this gets rid of them too.
It does. It won't get rid of their modifier. That will still persist through the rest of the turn. But if you do play this, you can still get rid of those resources. You are correct. Still doesn't work with Desert Road, though.
Teehee. But that's a small price to pay. Other
All
thoughts?
right. I'm excited for the next one. I like the next one.
Really?
A little.
We have Berry Punch.
Text. So much text.
There's there's actually 5 different pieces of text in the text box. That's a lot.
There's 4.
Plus
There's 5
for text.
Oh,
text
sure.
Counts.
What rules does this work with?
All of them?
What are the rules implications of the sooner we get this done?
It has Hasty.
I think I agree.
Secret Hasty.
I don't know. How do I process the modifier start the party?
Draw 3 cards?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. Nope, sounds good. So we've got a chaos text here where even though it says 0, it's not going to be a 0 when you flip it.
Unless the opponent's got a throne.
Unless it has a throne. It's also not going to be a 0 when it hits play, unless it loses abilities. But this card, just look at all this text. Look at all this cool stuff it does. This thing's going to be a house.
It draws you cards and is almost always assuredly has higher power than cost.
Almost always.
And isn't there this pink Maine that lets you draw cards as well? And a bunch of pink cards that let you draw cards and
we're not going to talk about
that. And how do I hold all these cards?
Why can't I hold? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now this is a rare, to be fair, so this probably isn't going to show up and just completely wreck limited on everywhere. Well, actually, you know what? It is going to wreck limited, but it's not going to do it that often. Because this is going to be a good card in limited.
Oh, yeah. If you're playing in a draft and you open this is like pack 1, pick 1.
You should probably take it. Probably.
The potential here is just so high.
Yeah. Other thoughts?
I wish it costs 3.
I'm so glad it doesn't.
Me too.
Yeah. So I guess not.
No.
Next card. We have
this
Ember.
card costs 3.
This card does cost 3. This card's also named Ember. It's not like she wanted to be your friend or anything. Baka!
I wish the flavor text had just been Baka.
So Ember is interesting. Definitely a more aggressive dragon. than some of the troublemaker-focused ones.
But how about that effect? I think Orange likes this card.
I think Orange would like this card a lot more if AJ was still core legal.
Yeah, well, you know why we can't have nice things.
I do know why we can't have nice things. This is still pretty good, though. And there's another card we'll see here in a bit that synergizes pretty well with her.
Oh, indeed.
But overall, pretty nice, and again, kind of a limited bomb.
Yeah, this one's a super rare, though, so it's going to be even less frequent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's going to be fun.
I don't know how much of a limited bomb it is. Like, we've seen, like, Diligent 2s. And, like, I mean, Diligent 3, Granny Smith was pretty limited, like, crazy limited, but...
Yeah, I think this depends a lot on how well you can get power counters out in limited.
That's true. Next one.
Greta cruising along. Okay, so, who remembers Rainbow Dash Loyal Pony? Wasn't that a great card?
Yeah.
You know what'd be great?
If it
What?
wasn't color restricted?
If we had one of those, well, that, but if we had one of those that was 3 power.
Yeah, there's this new starting problem that does good stuff for confront to flip mains.
When you have 4 power there. And it's like, blue confront to flip mains are going to look at this and just be like, yes. Wait, hold on. It's not like Lyra. Lyra has no game text.
That's right. Lyra says nothing.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. Not in limited.
She occasionally has game text.
Not when
But
she's
that's where
placer.
I learned that she had nothing.
Well,
Was
yes,
the, like, 3 pre-releases where she said nothing.
because she doesn't work for Big Cheese.
That's not technically true. She still had game text. The game text was reveal the top card of your deck and then be sad.
Yes.
Okay.
Greta is clearly fantastic, though, with any blue confront to flip main. It allows blue to actually be one of the most AT-efficient means, or one of the most AT-efficient colors of flipping its main. Most other mains are going to have to rely on 2-cost cards like Flim and Flam, or Staff, or Rarity,
Well,
although
not
they can also-
necessarily.
they can run Aloe.
You can fix into this. This is not that hard to fix into. It's really not. And the price is right because most fixing costs 1.
This is a very good card, though.
Yeah. So if you're running a confront to flip main, you might want to look into this.
In limited as well as a common.
Good.
If you're
card.
running any kind of blue, just snatch these up like mad.
Yeah. 100%.
Hitrock, thoughts? I have thoughts about next. Oh, not next one. The one after that. But this one, I don't know. Like in limited, sure. But not in limited. It's kind of like you already said everything I had in mind about her. So no additional thoughts.
Okay.
Moving on. This card shenanigans.
This card says Poppy on it.
This card does say Poppy on it. Well, it says random,
Why does
which
it
says Poppy.
say Poppy? Okay.
What if they have no friends? Can you exhaust Poppy?
No.
Unfortunately not. So it almost says Poppy on it.
What if they have one friend?
Then yes. Then Poppy loves this card.
Poppy very much enjoys this card. So you should totally play a screwball and then play this. That seems like a good use of your action tokens.
Yep. It's a fun song. At least 2 of the modes are going to be pretty useful in any kind of aggressive blue, pink, white deck. And the middle mode can be useful if your opponent is playing very expensive or very powerful individual friends.
Or happens to only have one friend on the board at the moment.
Sure.
Seems pretty good.
See, this is the key workaround for when you're playing that friendless rarity deck, and then you play Party of One and you have to leave one of your opponent's friends, then you just play this afterwards.
Nice.
You'll also need one blue for this.
Whatever. You're running Singing Barrel anyway, right?
Probably.
Let's see. Next.
Next.
Ooh, this card.
I love this card.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really weird things you can do with this card.
It's amazing.
It's a really good card.
You can farm with it. You can aggro with it.
You can play control with it.
So, Barry Frog is saying in chat that this is Standstill 2.0. This is so much more than Standstill.
Yes, it is.
Standstill wishes it was this good.
Yes.
Well, okay, to be fair, this does cost an action token. Standstill was free.
So the implications of this card for control are pretty straightforward. It's really nice because you get the chance to send an opponent's character that was moved at any point in the turn to any area it was at previously in the turn. And that's obviously very good because you can play it at the last possible minute instead of having to play it immediately like you normally do with Standstill.
Yeah, you can let them, dig their hole as deep as they'd like, and then be like, nah.
And naturally, the harmony effect is very good. If you happen to have 3 or more unicorn characters, then hey, your opponents can't move anything.
Yeah, but let's talk about what this does in an aggro deck.
Cheese, how would you use this card in an aggro list?
Well, I would hopefully already have my character up at a problem. And then I would move my character to the other problem. Then I'd go to score phase, confront.
The other problem. And then
Then
play
I would
this.
play this and move back.
Not
Then
move
confront
back.
again.
Be sent back.
Sure,
Getting
be
a-
sent back.
Any kind of movement like Loon attacks, nope.
And then I would double confront.
Shenanigans.
And it's like there's a white Maine in this set who gets really big power.
That seems good.
Does seem good. Also seems like this would be good in farming. Oh, I lost the face-off? That's too bad. I guess I can move up. Well, I guess you need to have moved already.
Oh, it's not even that. You flipped a Magicite? Nah.
Correct, Fairy. This does not say opposing. This means that you can use it aggressively as well.
Can use it on your stuff. And I'd also like to note that, and this is highly unlikely that this is going to come up much in core, but this says opponent can't move characters until the end of the turn. You can play this on your turn and completely stop them from doing immediate movement shenanigans like Magicite.
Correct.
You can even use this defensively. That's kind of wild.
But note, this does not stop Royal Canterlot Voice.
Because that is you moving stuff home.
Yep.
Luna's scary.
Although, isn't that like a main phase thing?
Yes.
It's an immediate event. It's fine. Next card. Next card.
Oh boy. I know that you're ready to gush about this one, GP, so
I've said a lot about it.
get up on your soapbox.
Okay.
She's old.
Miss Maine is a really interesting card, and definitely in my opinion, an excellent combo card, but not for the reason that a lot of people think. The fact that Miss Maine scores a point and is cheaper to use than Sweetie Belle is obviously fine, but since most decks that are relying on Sweetie Belle to win the game already have infinite AT, the AT cost doesn't really matter. Instead, the thing that matters here is that Miss Maine is useful long before you actually have that infinite AT. Because she allows you to get back any card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. And sure, you can get a point, maybe two, if your opponent also takes something back for themselves. Now that is risky. You're giving your opponent a card back too, if their discard pile has cards in it. But Miss Maine saves you card slots in your deck list. If you would run 2 copies of Cleaning Up in a combo deck to bring back a card like Dip in the Pool, like Cloning Combo does, you can run Miss Maine instead, and all of a sudden those slots you'd normally have to use for Cleaning Up, you can use for Protection, Disruption, anything else instead. That is incredibly valuable.
It is worth noting that this is not a direct substitute for Cleaning Up, but you also get one of the better effects off of it.
Correct. You don't get to banish something from the opponent's discard pile. In fact, they'll get it back. The fact that you can also just find this card, even if it's in your discard pile, is really, really useful. Because it means that if you happen to have a bunch of extra copies of this, you don't have to worry about discarding it from your hand to make room for other stuff. The fact that this card has unique is what makes it so good. That means that you can play a copy, then play another copy, dismiss the first one to uniqueness, and bring it back into your hand to continue cycling through it. The second ability is also very interesting.
But for very different reasons.
Yep. Miss Maine is a wacky, very valuable card in the right type of list. Bugle had a good post on Reddit earlier this week mentioning that this is a card you really only want to play when you're already ahead, and it's true. This is a card you play to close out the game. This is not a card you play to try to make up lost ground.
Yeah.
Using this effectively is not obvious, and I think as time goes on, people are going to realize just how insane this thing can get.
There's a card we're about to spoil that, well, about to discuss, that also this card has great synergy with.
Teehee.
So let's get to it.
I don't know if this one got around a whole lot, but hey, remember that Silverstream super rare that said transform? Be a darn shame if there was.
I think I built a deck around her.
Yeah, be a darn shame if there was nothing to transform it. Well, look no further.
You want to take the lead on this one, Hithrock?
Yeah, like, did any of you ever had that feeling that you build a deck and then a perfect card for it is spoiled? Like, I don't think this card could have like a more perfect text for the other Silverstream.
It definitely synergizes very well.
Yeah, so the main problem with Silverstream, especially when you want to get a very specific problem in play, is that looking at one problem on the top is usually not enough. Because the problem you actually want to have before you get it, you want to have it second to the top. So in case your opponent replaces your problem, or defaults, the problem you want to get with Silverstream does not go in play. And hey, this thing solves this.
And then you get this card and you're just like, that's exactly what I wanted for Christmas.
It is.
Very fun card.
And also it features Best Hippogriff.
Honk.
Honk!
Hank.
Next one?
Let's see, I believe we are now into cards that Cursed Chord spoiled earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
We have Caldera Explosive Personality.
Okay, so kind of a Luna Midnight Light effect on the first ability?
Kind of. This is a... Oh, also important here, this is the first of 6 tribal cards in the tribe's colors that have a Harmony ability on it.
Yep.
The second ability, the Harmony ability, is where this really gets interesting. Remember that Ember that we just discussed a little bit ago that says things with +1 power counters on it can't be frightened? It's a darn shame that this card is really good at putting +1 power counters on things.
I wouldn't call that a shame. I'd call that great.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing.
Right.
Terrible?
Amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of value that you can gain here. Orange and purple clearly have a lot of AT generators, Factory Jack, Paper Twilight, Starlight, all kinds of things. You can even use this card, not that you necessarily would, but if you wanted to turn this into effectively free Frighten, you could run it with Sweet Apple Factory.
Wow. That's wow.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a neat way for dragons to go here. The fact that you can put it on any dragon friend means that a lot of your friends are going to, well, hit that critical threshold of either being protected by Appaloosa or protected by Ember.
You should probably make sure that you've got a lot of dragons, though. Just saying.
Yep. Next.
The Unicorn Tribe.
Yay. Sorry, I had to do that.
This is an implied Trixie card. Come on.
It's Trixie.
It has Trixie in the box?
How do you know she's in the box?
That's what they said to us. She can't get out. See, it has chains on it. How do you get out of a chained box?
How will she ever escape?
It's a good thing we don't live in a world with, teleportation or anything.
Trixie can't teleport.
What's in the box?
We don't know, but it's probably not Trixie.
Only 2. Well, I guess Twilight's not a unicorn anymore, but...
Yeah. So this has obviously been compared to Moondancer. And in ways, it is very much like Moondancer. But in other ways, it's not.
Yeah.
This can be used multiple times in the same turn. So if you have multiple unicorn friends that are entering, this is obviously very good.
Like bodyguards.
Bodyguards would work. It would also work with Trixie Hat Trick. It would also work with, say, Miss Maine. So if you like recursion, you can play Miss Maine, get a card back from your discard pile, and choose an event in your discard pile. And if you happen to have a Trixie in play, that event's going to cost you 1 less anyway.
To a minimum of 1.
To a minimum of 1. Hithrock, do you want to share your observation on how this card is different from Moondancer, though?
Oh yeah, there's one very important difference here from Moondancer. So, if you get a unicorn and choose Starswell Research gets banished instead of going on top of your deck.
Yep.
So, if you like to banish events and don't do anything else, you should go for that.
Not sure why you would, but you can.
You probably shouldn't use this with Starswell Research. Unless you're just doing it for fun. In which case, go Hog Wild.
Drata, I think you got to spoil a couple cards just a little while ago, is that right?
That is right.
Yeah,
Let's take a look at this.
Take a look at some of those. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy Chillax.
They're so adorable.
It's always nice seeing happy ponies on cards.
This card's actually kind of amazing.
Yeah, that last ability is actually really good.
It's a lot better than I think, especially for blue-yellow, which struggles a lot with power.
Yeah, and then it does, of course, have Swift, which is just
It's a nice little bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only real problem I have with this is it doesn't hit itself with the second ability, so this is 2 power.
Just run 2 of them.
But I wanted them at 4 power.
Well, then run
20 of them.
Run 3 of these and run 3 CC and Flitters.
Okay.
Let's stack it with Night Glider.
Yeah, I like that
Power.
idea.
Power for days. And while you're at it, let's run close air support as well, because value.
And sharing section.
Hey, it works with Celeste Owl.
It does work with Celeste Owl.
Because it's yellow.
Wow.
Yep.
But
Blue Yellow Swarm, it's maybe a thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Spitfire with this thing, cripes.
Yep.
So that seems like a nice card.
Next one.
Let's see here. Timble of the Changeling tribe.
Who likes stealing forms?
He and I forget her name actually. Hippie chick from the Discord episode.
Treehugger.
Treehugger. He and Treehugger. I think they'd get along.
I think they'd get along, yeah. Although this card's kind of silly. The Calming one's already a little bit infuriating, but look at the second thing. That says point on it.
I like things that say points.
I like things that say points too.
Points on confront. Without moving anything home.
Or retiring anything.
Yeah.
Well, you need some more Changeling characters. And hey, look, it's in the tribe that all the Changelings are in.
You can run it with Thorax, you can run it with Ocellus.
I heard the
Tiny
name.
Tiny Trader.
The smaller hissing. For a smaller trader.
It's also in white and yellow at 1 power, which means that a card like Find the Music in You can bring this back from the discard pile.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. And you get Calming 1 as an added perk. So if you have Ocellus, this card, and like one other card, sure, you can confront and score 2 points. If you have Ocellus and 2 of these cards, you can confront and score 3 points. If you have Ocellus, 2 of these cards, and a Similo Duplexus that you've played, you can score 6 points.
Wait, 6?
6.
If you play Similo Duplexus 4 times, you can win the game. With 3 of them.
That seems good.
Wombo
Seems
combo.
expensive.
Whatever.
And then your opponent's going to drop a Napcakes and you're going to be very sad.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had here. Okay, so we've seen 4 of the tribes. I think there's 2 more to go, and then maybe 1 more, and then we'll get to the featured duel.
All right.
Buckle in, everyone. It's going to be a long one tonight.
Okay. Let's see. So of the Griffin tribe, we have Gabby Express Delivery. We're seeing that Agile keyword come back here. And then we're seeing a very interesting Harmony Griffin. I think this works well with the first ability, huh?
Oh, man. Card synergy?
Drawing at immediate speed?
For 2AT, for sure.
Hey, if that gets a something important off the top of my deck that an opponent's trying to make me flip away, might be worth it.
Yeah.
Gabby is adorable.
That's because it's a Griffin card. It goes in blue-pink.
She has teeth.
Does she? She can't see the teeth.
I think she smiles at some points with teeth.
Yeah. Not in this card art, but...
Yep. This is obviously a very good card. There's... well, herself with Agile, and other Griffins as well, and this will move Griffin characters, so if you've got something like Gallus, that will also work. But she's in the colors and requirement of a card called Call in the Dream Cavalry, which gives all your characters Swift. Which is normally good. 1 AT to move a character is good, but how about 1 AT to move a character and draw a card?
Now we're talking
Seems
some value.
good. I mean, aggro wants to do both of these things.
It's funny. Gabby was a card that existed in the original Hot Wings to keep your hand relatively full. And now Gabby exists in Griffin Tribal to keep your hand relatively full.
Basically the same thing. I mean, can we just go ahead and add Hasty to this?
No.
Why not?
No.
But
No.
Just play Under the Wire.
There you go.
that costs money.
play Rainbow Shine.
There you go.
Okay, that's fair. There's a pinky for that.
Let's look at our last tribal spoiler for tonight.
Okay, the remaining, speaking of Pinkie Pie, the remaining tribe, the Earth Ponies. Ooh.
The Mud Ponies, what?
Hey, be nice. So we've got
Look,
Pinkie.
AJ's all insulted already.
Yeah, we got Pinkie and Applejack. It comes with Diligent 1, and this is very relevant because, hey look, there's an ability on the second part of this that makes that work really well. So when this card enters play, it just starts a face-off, and if you win, you get a whole bunch of cards. And you also get a +1 power counter, if you remember it. If you remember it.
If. So I like a lot of these Earth Pony cards that are in the multicolor ones because pink-orange, orange-pink is a very good combination and can make a lot of Earth Ponies, especially with backup dancers.
So I think what we need to do here is make about 30 Earth Pony tokens and play this.
Draw the whole deck.
Yeah.
And then, hey, we've got our whole deck in our hand. Isn't there that Berry Punch that would then have like 30 power?
No, you just have Luna and exhaust all those Earth Ponies.
Sure, there you go. Why play Party Hard when you can just play this?
Oh,
Well,
that's...
There are reasons. But...
that's fair.
This is a great way to refill your hand in Limited as well. It's an uncommon. If you're playing Earth Pony Tribal, this is probably a very solid choice.
For each of your Earth Ponies.
It doesn't say Earth Pony characters. That's funny. It's just Earth Ponies.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive, but cards that start face-offs are often expensive. It's cheaper than mod.
And let's be perfectly fair. You're probably going to get at least 4 AT worth of value out of this, never mind just the body.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Alright, so are we ready for the Giant Whopper?
So far in Friends Forever, we've seen several very wacky cards.
The current title I think goes to Silverstream Fish Out of Water.
Uh-huh. Silverstream Fish Out of Water is a card that does some really weird stuff. Miss Maine does a lot of interesting stuff, although none of it's really that weird. And all of those cards have pretty good impact on the game. See, Fanman already knows. Fanman knows it's coming.
Yeah, you're gonna want to sit down and buckle in for this one, because this is an ability.
We'll talk more about this on the Slogfest, but...
Yeah.
What if you couldn't do weird things?
What if you couldn't do weird things? Players can't play cards, activate abilities, or take actions except as a main phase action. Let's pause for a moment to let this sink in what this means.
Minute of silence for all those Bailey flops.
Yes.
Pretty much.
If you've ever been frustrated by food fight, belly flop, nap cakes, frozen Imagicite, anything along those lines, interdimensional portal, we can keep going. Bailout,
Tempest and Grubber.
everything. This will stop everything. It does not stop Chaos, Luna, because Chaos is Werefog, because this is a triggered... Chaos is a triggered ability. It is not activated.
It also does not stop replacement modifiers.
Correct.
But anything Like, anything that says immediate outside of your opponent's main phase just doesn't work.
Right. It will stop hasty. You cannot play a hasty friend as an immediate action because you can only play that as a main phase action.
It also stops agile because that is still something that you can only do. That is an action.
But you could use agile in the main phase instead of using move.
That seems...
I don't think so. It's still using the move action.
Yeah.
So we actually need to talk about how this works with the comprehensive rules, or how it will work with the comprehensive rules here for just a moment.
Yeah. Do you want to take lead on this one?
Sure. The comprehensive rules are, in some cases, a relic of an older time, and there are still little bits here and there that don't really fit in with what we have, and every now and then we'll find them. There are currently 2 sections in the comprehensive rules that state that you cannot play events as a main phase action unless that event has main phase as its timing, nor can you activate abilities as a main phase action unless that ability has main phase as its timing. Those are primarily there from back in the day before we really had immediate.
Or hasty, or any of these other fun things.
Those are likely going to be scrapped from the comprehensive rules at the next update. Because if those stayed in, it would mean that even during your main phase, you could not play belly flop.
At all.
Or food fight. Or anything along those lines.
Because those events do not have main phase timing. They have immediate timing. Which means that because they don't have main phase, how would you play them?
Right. So don't worry about that for now. The rules will likely be updated to reflect this. This card is obviously hugely impactful. I would go so far as to say there is no other card in the entire game that has as much of an impact on the individual game it's played in than this.
What if I'm playing okay, what's the name of the deck? Moonlight Sonata, and my opponent plays this. Don't care.
I think you're fine. Sprite Pony asks, how should you play it? Play it in according with the FAQ. There will likely be a description that will explain how to do it.
Yeah, so keep your eye out for that.
What you need to keep in mind about this card is, even though this is expensive and it's not an efficient body, this card says your opponent cannot touch you for the rest of your turn. At minimum. If you play this card and your opponent does not have triggers that happen on your turn, there is literally not a single thing in the game that they can do. Minus blind flipping a chaos effect.
So this is
Or the card losing its abilities from Desert Road.
Yeah, Desert Road would be great.
Yes. So if you've gotten tired of trying to play an aggro deck that can go for DFOs only to have yourself disrupted,
look no further.
or if you've gotten tired of playing a combo deck that doesn't have to use immediate effects or events or abilities,
Here's
you can play this too.
Call these guys up. They might know a thing or two.
It is important, as many people have noted, that you yourself cannot take any immediate actions either. So bear in mind, this affects both players equally. But there are certain types of decks that are going to absolutely live or die on this card.
Yup.
Okay.
Well, let's see. I believe that is our last card.
Shall we get to the featured duel?
Sure.
Oh, wait,
T-Rex Reign of Terror is a triggered ability, Sprite. Anything that says when, whenever, or at is a triggered ability, not an activated ability.
Yes.
Okay, so for our featured patron duel, many of you may know that we have several patrons, and we appreciate them very much. Thank you, patrons.
We're going to do a
I know
very
I know
quick
you're
smash
here.
cut to the patron slide. Okay, patron slide. Yay.
You're welcome.
We give our patrons the ability to challenge each other to featured duels with some wacky rules.
And sometimes they go a little bit further. Not just wacky rules. They go for memes.
So our two patrons, Greta and Colorado Contraptions, played a featured duel with rules that were set by Greta.
So what exactly were those rules?
Well, there were three main rules. The first rule was that any friends that you play have to be just the main characters, the main 6.
Okay.
Not
The
the
sec-
main 9.
Not the main 9. The second rule was that there is no resource removal that is allowed to be used.
And you'll understand why that's the case in a moment.
And the final rule was that it should be a meme deck. Because never let your memes be dreams.